What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 4 of my 2024 T7 build, the episode where Chase definitively goes over the line. Okay, so guys, I've been so excited to film this episode. I had to do the other stuff beforehand because I wanted to be able to ride the bike off-road and feel safe. But now that I've been riding off-road a lot more, shout out to my buddy Mark, showing me all types of awesome roads up in North Georgia. The problem is, I have no GPS system on this motorcycle, so Mark's showing me all these cool roads, and I will never find them again. So, in today's episode, I'm solving a few problems. One, I'm installing a GPS unit so I can save locations and I can actually go there on my own and find them. Two, I'm solving a huge problem where my phone keeps dying when I go off-road, and one, that ain't safe, and two, I got like a 6-month-old, so like I need to be able to be in contact, you know what I'm saying? So to do that, we are gonna make my T7 the most ridiculous 4-screened monster that I possibly can. Let me show you what we're installing. All right, so guys, we got some pretty cool stuff we're gonna be installing today. First off, really no shocker, but I picked up a Garmin Zumo XT2 thanks to the recommendations over at Moto Camp Nerd. Shout out to those guys. They're my go-to for any sort of ADV, literally anything. Yeah, so if you guys need adventure bike stuff, go to Moto Camp Nerd, links in the description down below. Zumo XT2, I got a lot of recommendations for the Zumo XT series. We actually did an install a couple years ago of one, and it seems to be like the go-to GPS for motorcycle riders, so that's what I'm going with. Secondly, to solve my phone dying problem, boom. Wireless charger from Quadlock. You guys know Quadlock is the only brand of phone mounting on a motorcycle that I use, and they are actually the sponsor of this episode, so shout out Quadlock. If you guys want a discount, we got a link for you in the description down below. It's the only phone mount I trust on my motorcycle, and they have, as you guys will see, really cool mounts that can fit anything. So I didn't even know they had this mount, and now I do. We're gonna get that installed today. And then this is what's actually gonna be charging the phone while it's on my bike. And then in a awesome YouTuber supporting YouTuber situation, if you guys are watching this video, I would almost guarantee that you have seen Adam Reeman's channel. Does a phenomenal adventure, like adventure films YouTube channel. Definitely check it out. But he has this cool product. You see this? So this probably looks kind of weird and you probably don't know what this is. But what this does is it moves your T7 screen to the side and then gives you this big blank area to mount other things to. So I'm gonna use this to, it's easier to me show you on the bike. So as you guys see, this is the main screen for the T7, but there's plenty of space here and here. What this guy does is, one, it helps stabilize this whole area up front. This mount goes here. It moves your dash for the T7 over, and then it gives you blank space for a GPS. So my plan is to have my T7 screen here, my GPS here. I'm gonna have my Chiggy here. If you guys have never seen the Chiggy, it's basically a interface for, it can be for your motorcycle if you want, but I use it to have my Apple CarPlay and my Apple Maps up while I'm riding, and I can keep my phone in my pocket. I've been doing that recently and my phone ends up dying, and even that's without using the Chiggy, just my phone battery's getting to that point where Apple's gonna make me upgrade type situation. But I'm gonna have the Chiggy here, GPS here, T7 screen here, and I'm gonna mount my Quadlock wireless charger here at the top so my phone can stay charged. I'm not necessarily mounting the phone at the top so that I can use the phone, because I just need it to be charging and I don't wanna have, so right now I'm keeping, like, I have to carry a battery bank with me when I go off-road, and I just keep thinking if I go over and I hit a battery bank on like my ribs or something, it's not going to be comfortable. So, and I really like my phone mounting to the bike. So the plan by the end of this video is have 1, 2, 3, 4 screens on a T7. Yes, I agree with you. It is ridiculous, and it probably has no reason to do this. But I just want to see how many screens I can shove onto a T7, so let's find out together. Also, don't tell the insurance company, but when I wrecked my Ibex like a year ago, I have these cool double take mirrors that I'm pretty sure will fit like most motorcycles. So I knew I would get an adventure bike after the Ibex, so I took them off before they totaled the bike. I'm gonna install these today too. So guys, I think the first thing I wanna do is hold on. Oh no. All of the screws that hold on the windscreen have vibrated off, like literally every single one of them. I was going to say that I'm gonna remove the screen and we're going to temporarily mount the little bracket up here, because I need to use that to figure out how and where to drill the holes in it to mount the GPS thing. This is typically where step one would be to remove the windscreen, but since we find ourselves in a situation where there's one less thing to do, we're already done with that. One less thing to do. All right guys, so I've got the bracket up here, but I don't have anything plugged in yet because we're gonna have to rip it off in a second. I've just got one bolt in the back just to see where it is. So we're basically gonna have to pause this process and now move to the GPS side, because now the Speedo is where it's gonna be. And now this should give me an opportunity to put the GPS here and kind of mark where I need to drill the holes, because now we're gonna have to take this off to do the hole drilling. So now we're gonna start the whole GPS process of it. All right, let's see what comes in the Garmin box. Oh no, what will I do with this sticker? I'll have to put it somewhere. So, I'm wondering if I can, these are all obviously mounting pieces that would mount it to like a bar clamp or something, but we don't need a bar clamp. All right, so guys, I've been messing around with this whole situation, and I've got the Zumo charging right now because I just want to make sure that it can be mounted horizontally, or no, vertically. Yeah, it looks like it can because it automatically went around. American English, accept all. So I've got the ball mount taken off the back of the power adapter. So this ball adapter is going to be perfect because what I can use is these little 4 holes to perfectly, like, I'm going to use this as a guide on how to drill the holes, and I can mark the holes so they'll be perfect. So now what I want to do is take the Garmin over to the bike and kind of get it on the bike, because I'll show you guys the other thing I kind of was messing with. So I was worried at first that the screws that came with this weren't going to be long enough to go through this plate, but the thickness here is actually thicker than this metal plate. So I don't think it's going to have a problem mounting like that. And even if it gets mounted, even when it gets mounted like that, I should still be able to get back there and remove it like that. So I'm not too worried about that. So the Garmin will sit off of it like that a little bit. Now the only question is, how and where do we need to set the Garmin up? Because obviously, oh, okay, so it has a right of way, so it can only go vertical like that. Because, I mean, they're so close in size, I would like to get it as close as I possibly can to being on there and kind of even. So that's going to be an interesting game to play. I think now, like that's going to be so freaking cool to have both of those up there. So now I think we take this guy off, take it over to the table, and we just be very particular. And I'm gonna try to match this height with this guy, because I can't adjust this, but I can adjust this guy. So that's what we're gonna do now. I just need to make sure that I mount it with the Garmin name at the bottom, not on the side. We should probably do a quick test. Can this be mounted like that? Oh, so this has to be mounted to the side. So that's as far in. It's gonna have to be farther in than this guy, unfortunately. And the cable is gonna have to go that way. So we're just gonna have to route the cable this way and down, I guess. That's gonna make it really hard to get the Garmin out. That is not gonna be easy to get a finger in there. It's definitely something to think about. Like, I'm gonna do it, but like, you're just not gonna be able to remove this Garmin unless you, let me play around with it and see. Okay, so now, hypothetically, when I remove this, we should have our marks that we need to drill. Boom, right there. Okay. That's exciting and terrifying. We have holes. Now we just gotta hope they fit. All right. It also adds, like, it's pressed up against this top area. So that bar is going to be locked on between this and this. Bro, look at the double screen. Oh, that's gonna be sick. Okay, now the question is, can I reach in here? Boom. Yes, I can. That is awesome news. Okay, at this point, this area is done. And the only thing we're gonna need is to get in there to do the quad lock. So I'm thinking that I go ahead and get this final installed with the piece in the bottom, this piece on the back, and these things final tightened with this plugged in. I think that's where we're gonna go next, because that'll set us up for all the next stages. All right, guys, so we have final assembly on this. I ended up having to take the plate off of the back of here and kind of like finagle it a little bit so that these bars ran perfectly, because this was kind of curved up a bit. I think I had ended up tightening it too much on the back end and it kind of like pulled it down on one side. So we're technically done with this plate, and to prove that, let's get this on there. There we go. Okay, so we are 3 screens in. I can remove this. I can get to the little tab. Not that I'll ever really do that. And now we need to see if we can get the quad lock thing attached to here, because we don't have a ton of space, as you can tell. So my master plan might not be so master, but we're gonna find out. So before I reinstall the screen, I wanna try getting the quad lock in there. And once we get everything mounted, then we start the wiring process. So the wiring process will be like the second stage of everything. So let's go unbox the quad lock mount and see if we can get this thing attached. So guys, the quad lock that I'm going to try using for this is their scooter and motorcycle mirror mount. So typically this is used if you like have a scooter and it has those thin metal pieces that go out to the mirror. This will go around that. It's very similar to their bar clamp. It's just a smaller version of that. But I think this is gonna be perfect to mount to the T7. So we just gotta figure out which one of these spacers is necessary, and we'll get this thing installed, hopefully, because we do not have a ton of real estate. That's it. So if you guys are following along at home, it's the 12mm one that looks to be the right size. Oh, that is going to be the tightest of tight. Actually, I have a genius idea, and I think it'll fit. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. So that is how much space we have in between the screens. Obviously, this is not gonna work because obvious, but Quad Lock has a kind of like a bracket arm. Let me go see if I have one. Yes, this is the bracket I'm talking about. So obviously we have the vibration dampener there, but actually I can just leave this vibration dampener on. Actually, that's an old one. We'll put a new one on. Dude, I looked out so hard. Look at this. Oh, I did not look out so hard. There's not enough room for this inside of there. Let's see if we can finagle it. Maybe if I go ahead and I mount it in there, I can then just rotate it down. Oh, I can't. All right, I gotta go back to the drawing board. Dang it, man. I thought I had it. I thought I had it figured out. All right, let's see what options we got. I think I might have figured it out, guys. I think I might have figured it out. So Quad Lock has a thing called a single pivot, and this will go here, and it basically puts a ball mount at the top that you can rotate down. So I'm gonna try this out and see if it works. So we'll start out with attaching the top. Let's lock the base clamp in as much as possible. God, this is what I love about Quad Lock. Like, I know they're sponsoring the episode, so it is what it is, but they have so many mounting options that it allows you to get really creative with like where you place your mounts and stuff like that. I rotated it down too much because I need threads to rotate that ball piece on. So that's as far over as we can go. Now, this is the ball mount, just goes on top, and you guys can see how it can pivot down right there. And this, you just screw on, and I'm assuming you can just rotate the ball. Yep, just like that. Now that should allow us to mount the phone there, but we're not mounting just the phone there. Especially on a motorcycle like this, you definitely want to use the vibration damper because I'm gonna be riding off-road, so that means there's gonna be a ton of vibration. All right, there's that. Final piece, and this is actually what's gonna be solving my issue, and that is my phone dying on these long rides. And that is the wireless charging head. Obviously, we will have to route the wires, but there's that. What a freaking command center, dude. Okay, so with that there, my phone can go here. Oh, that's one of the cool things about this little pivot mount. You can just kind of pivot things around. And then if any time I needed to rotate it up, I can, but I don't think I'm gonna need to. Like, I could go up higher with it, rotate this down, and I'm not blocking any screens. Bro, are you serious with this? Cannot believe that I had enough pieces. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 screens on the bike now. That's hilarious. Okay. Wow, now I am a little stressed about the screen though. So we need to temp the screen. We need to at least see if it's touching, if it is, how much. We got to play that whole game. So let's get the screen pieces back on and we'll go from there. All right, guys, I'm looking at this angle and I'm a bit stressed because the angle of the screen looks like it's going to hit this thing. And if that hits, I have to undo everything. So let's get the screen mounted and let's just cross our fingers because everything could be ruined if this doesn't work. Dude, this is not looking good. I don't know if you guys can see from this angle, but literally the quad lock thing is like farther sticking out than the actual base thing. Oh, no way. No way. Guys, it actually fits. It fits and it's not even close. Oh my God. That is such good news. I was so stressing that all of this stuff we've done and then it wasn't even gonna matter. Hold on, we need the hand cam so I can show you guys. Guys, look how much space there is in between here. I could even go higher up and like angle it farther down or something. I got options, man. Oh my gosh, bro. Look at that. And the screen covers the phone, so it's not like the phone's gonna get a ton of debris off of a dirt road either, because it's gonna be covered. I can look at the clearance. There's so much space. I would have not thought there was gonna be that much space there. Bro, look at this. It's fully screened out. That's so funny. Okay, what have we learned? When trying to mount stuff to a motorcycle, quad lock is MVP. I literally just had an extra piece that I've never even used that piece before. And I come to a situation where I'm like, hey, that's gonna work perfect. I am legit shocked. I expected this to go easierly, then it got harder, and now it went back to like everything working out. I am so thankful about that. Okay, so here's where we're at. Everything is physically installed. Now we need to wire everything, but it's getting late today, so I'm gonna jump to day 2 because I have some wiring stuff coming in the mail tomorrow, and it's gonna make wiring a lot easier on me. So, because I don't wanna have to do all the soldering stuff all the way through here. So let's cut to the next day. Let's get all this wired up and make sure it works. See you in day 2. Alrighty guys, day 2 here. So we got everything installed last time. So now I think this day we're just gonna totally focus on getting everything wired up. I've got some stuff that should be delivered today that should allow us to quickly route these wires, or quickly use these wires and plug them into an accessory port that the T7 has on this front left side. I've seen it in other videos, but I'm not 100% sure it's there. So the first thing I want to do today is to get both side pieces off the bike, because we're going to route the GPS power on the left side, and I'm going to route the quad lock power on the right side. So I just need both side panels off. So today's going to be a lot of wiring bullshit. This is not a tutorial. I'm going to take you guys through what I do, but I'm not going to be teaching you how to do it. So that's the plan for today. First thing, let's get the side panels off. Let's get the seat off, get access to everything, and we'll go from there. Sound good? Okay, cool. Let's go. Oh, guys, we have Pat behind the camera today. So I had hope for day 2.
Hello.
Part of this is his fault. What do we have? What do we have? What do you have? What do you have? A sharp knife is what I have. So be careful with that so I don't cut myself. I'm gonna grab the tool. There it is. Okay. All right. So we have a little triple pluggy accessory thing. This is great news actually, because I was gonna have to remove this piece so I could start snaking wires up all the way through here. But if we have this here, then that means the GPS wires only need to come down to right here, which is gonna make the setup really clean, but it also means we can't do that part until the end of the day. So we're gonna leave that here. And the first thing I wanna do now, I guess the next thing I wanna do, is get the GPS cable routed where it just flops down right here. I think that's where we're at right now. So we'll get to do some fun wiring, and then when we're at the end of it, I'll show you guys how we ended up getting it loaded. All right, guys, now that we have the GPS power where it needs to be, and we'll finish it up later in the video whenever this thing gets delivered. Amazon, 12 to 3. You better, anyway. So the next thing we gotta do, previously on this bike, before I decided to go absolutely screen heavy, I had my quad lock on the handlebars, and I literally have all the pieces over there. I had a wireless quad lock setup on here. And then when I got the Chiggy, I ended up removing that, because obviously if I have the Chiggy, I don't need my phone there. But I didn't go through the process of unrouting the quad lock power cable. I just kind of tucked it in here. So it's here, but the problem, as you guys can probably tell, it no clean and it no fit. So I'm gonna have to figure out how much wire I have. I might have added some, like looped it around a couple times. So basically I need to get this power cable that's already attached to the battery cleanly up to the back of this cable. Cleanly being the key word. I could make this look like shit, but I don't want to look at that all the time. So we're gonna go through the trouble to actually make it look good. No idea how I'm gonna do this, so let's find out together. All right, guys, I think everything is plugged in. If and when you order a quad lock wireless charger, which I highly recommend. I love mine. I have them on all the bikes I spend a lot of time on. What these things come with is this. So this is a USB to the back of the charger. You get a short, you get a medium, and a long. So don't make the mistake of buying this and thinking you can tap it into your battery. You can tap it into like a USB thing here on the bike, but what I like to do is I have this little, I don't even know what you call it, little accessory that you buy with it. And the USB part goes in the back, obviously. It runs all the way down and plugs into this. And this little regulator thing goes directly into your battery, but it measures the amount of voltage coming out of your battery. And basically it is what tells this thing, hey, the bike's on, charge the phone. And when the battery voltage drops below a certain number, which is when the bike is off, it basically tells the thing, hey, stop pulling power. So it's super helpful, and you can make it super clean, and that way it turns on and off with the bike. So I really like that. So if you are getting a quad lock wireless charging thing, make sure to grab that if you want to tap it into your motorcycle. Also, make sure you use the discount, because buying all this stuff can get a little expensive with quad lock, but we got like a 10% off. So you guys use that link in the description. And if I hit this button, hey, a light. So it's off, on, automatic. So now it's on. Where's my phone? So, work. Maybe I did the wrong way. Work. Well, there it is. Oh, charging. Okay, what way did I go? It's charged for a moment and then it stopped. Eiffel 65, let's go. Okay, so that's less than great news. Power goes up there. Oh, off is in the middle. On and auto are the sides. There we go. Fixed it. We will test this. Actually, let's just roll the bike outside and test it real quick.
This is set to auto though?
That has a button?
Yeah.
Oh.
It has an on, auto, off as well.
Well, hold on. I think I had this off, is what it did. Because now it's on and hidden green. Okay. My old one didn't have a power button. Okay, note to self, there is a power button on the wireless charger that I apparently didn't know about. So you could literally, so if I'd have just tapped it into here that all the T7s have, I could just come over here and be like, boop, boop. I've got it on auto now, so it's gonna be off, but now that I've hit the button, that all works. Okay, that makes sense. Nice job, Pat. Okay, so if any of you have ever had your motorcycles die, and you've had to charge your batteries, you are very familiar with what this little cable is. So on the T7, one of the kind of annoying things is that the seat is screwed in. You have to have a 4mm Allen to get the seat off, and the key just takes the rear seat off. So I have a situation where I don't get to ride all my bikes all the time. So a lot of the time I need to keep bikes on trickle chargers. And every time I want to trickle charge the T7, it's annoying because I have to take the seat off and all this kind of shit. So I just got one of these. I'm gonna run it into the back seat area, tap it into the battery, and that way, if I ever need to pop it on a trickle charger, key in, pop the rear seat off, and this little guy is just gonna be waiting in here, ready to be used. So small little thing, just grabbed it on Amazon, but it's gonna massively help me out. And all you have to do is put the wire in here, tap it into your battery, and you're Gucci. Okay, so that means the power is now running through the GPS, so that means when we crank the bike up, it should turn on. Actually, when we turn the bike on, it should turn on. All right, guys, big moment. GPS, do you turn on? And I'm not even sure if it should. Oh, damn, so many screens. Let me make sure there's not like a power button in the back, but yeah, I would imagine there is a chance that I'm gonna have to crank the bike. Wondering if there's a power button.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right, so we have that. I haven't turned this on at all yet, so it's not even set
Well, it might
up.
be dead, dude.
Is that how they are? They have an internal battery that,
I think
like,
so.
It may be dead then?
Yeah, it may just need to charge.
So this is basically just a charging cradle then?
For the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what else is, I guess, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so. All right, guys, so we have the Zumo XT2 on a fast charger. I didn't know I needed to like charge it up for the first time, and I've got it updating now. And it says it's gonna take 30 minutes, so while that thing updates, that should be enough time for us to clean up all the tools and get the fairings and the seat back on the T7, and that way, when that's done, we should be finished. Let's find out if I can do it that fast. Alrighty guys, bike is buttoned back up and ready to go. We're still charging the Garmin, so maybe we end this video with going for a ride on this thing that I'll do, can't today because the day's basically over, but we're gonna go for a ride on this thing because I can't let this video be done without seeing the ridiculousness of all 4 screens at one time. So let's cut to Chase going for the inaugural quad screened T7 video. Awesome.
Alrighty guys, T7 is out here, and guys, I think this might be the most ridiculous thing I have ever done on a motorcycle. So as you guys can see, I've got the phone mounted up there. It is charging. I've got the Chiggy here that's got my rearview camera. You guys can see my hand back here. Then I've got the T7 dash and I've got the GPS. Look at this. I equally hate it and love it at the same time, and I don't know how. Also, dude, I randomly pulled off because I wanted my thumbnail to have like some dirt in it or grass. So I just pulled off in the most random ass location. Watch, like I'm gonna come back onto the road and I'm just gonna be in a regular spot. Also, yes, you are seeing this correctly. I have two different mirrors. So one of the double take mirrors is normal threaded. That's this one. It goes into the normally threaded T7. This T7 bolt is reverse threaded, so I couldn't make the other one. But this holds on by this little area. So we're a little weird today, but it's okay. All right, let's get back on the road. Nobody can turn here. We're gonna go this way. Just investigate. So guys, as you can see, the setup, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this looks as ridiculous when I'm here going as I originally thought it would. So I know you guys are gonna be looking at this and be like, dude, that's a lot. And you know what? You're right. But I think it's also awesome at the same time. Also, before we get too far into this, I did want to comment. I was messing with a motorcycle earlier today, and I found out my issue with the GPS not being powered. Because currently, right now, it's not being powered. It's just running off the internal battery. But I did find something out. The plug that I ordered off of Amazon that goes into the accessory plug, it is not wired the same. So I had to reorder another one, but this video comes out in like 3 days, and that plug is gonna get here in 2 days. So because of that, I'm not gonna have time to get it installed before this video goes live, but I can still tell you guys everything that's going on. So when you're ordering one of those plugs, if you're doing this for a T7, for one, I'll have an Amazon link in the description. Order that plug because it's the one you need. If you look at the accessory plug on the T7, the top right wire is the black wire, which is the negative wire. If the accessory plug that you order is not in the top right, the negative one, it will not be wired correctly, and then you have to like rewire it and shit. I have no idea how to do that. I just ordered another one off Amazon. Made it way easier for me. So my wiring was working, but my plug was wired incorrectly. So it's a pain in the ass. Get the one in the links in the description if you guys want to do this. Okay, now let's talk about usability real quick, because I know you guys are going to see this and be like, Chase, you're ridiculous. One, you're correct. Second, everything has a use here. So obviously you guys have seen me use the Chiggy before. I get tons of questions about it in every video that I make, whether it's on my MT10 or the T7 here. So the Chiggy is like my on-road utility, right? It's a bigger screen, it's brighter, and if I didn't have my phone, I could still use this thing. It has all sorts of things. But generally, it's a bigger map, it's a brighter screen, and it's an easier control than my phone. It has a better touch with gloves than my phone does, and also the bigger screen makes it a little easier for me to use with gloves on. There's also no battery involved or anything like that. It just runs off the motorcycle. Now, the quad lock up top, you guys are probably curious why I have that. Like I've said, I don't want to have my phone on me and my phone dies if it's on me if I'm going to do a long day off-road or something like that. And then to keep my phone from dying, I have to bring an external battery bank, which you guys have used battery banks before. They're big, they're heavy. They're not something you want on your person. So this way, I've got my quad lock wireless charger hooked up. I never have to charge my phone now when I'm on my T7. The battery of the motorcycle and the alternator or whatever are just going to charge it for me. So I don't have to do anything with that. So that's what this combo is, right? Phone charger, phone holder, and if I wanted to not use the Chiggy, or, you know what? I just realized hold on, I'm gonna test something. Let me pull off. I'm so new to this setup, I haven't even realized all of the benefits that I potentially have. So I'm discovering this with you guys. Okay, so potential user case, right? I have my Calimoto app up right now, so I could route and it could track my ride. At the same time, I wonder if I can have Apple CarPlay up. Let's check. This is a test. I don't know if this will work. So I could have my Apple CarPlay up with my music controls here. I could have a different app opened on my phone. This guy is obviously the dash for the motorcycle. It's all my motorcycle riding information. And then this, the Garmin Zumo XT2, dun, 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 the big new thing. That guy is it's basically my off-road companion. But since I only ride this bike off-road, I don't have any other off-road bikes. The Garmin is just going to stay attached to the MT-07 because I don't need it on anything else. So most of you guys probably already know this, but the Garmin is fully GPS, and it's like the industry standard for downloading maps and stuff and riding them off-road. You guys have been seeing a lot of content lately. We've been doing a lot more off-road stuff, whether it be reviews for products and stuff like that. And I keep finding myself off-road, and my buddy Mark and I keep riding, and he has all these map files for where we go off-road. If you guys don't ride off-road, you probably don't know this, but when you go off-road, dude, you've got no service. So your phone is essentially useless, and you can't use it at all. So you can't use it for routing and stuff like that. So that is what having a dedicated GPS is really there for, so that you can save off-road trails and stuff like that. And that's where the Garmin comes into play. Obviously, as you guys can see, I have it routing on the road as well if I wanted to. So hypothetically, if I took the T7 on a big trip, and I found myself in BFE and my phone wasn't getting signal, I could actually use my Garmin to get me to the nearest gas station or something like that, and I don't have to worry about cell phone reception. This is what this guy is for. Basically, it's the off-road companion and BFE emergency routing stuff. Because obviously, the routing on, apps like Calimoto, Google Maps, Apple Maps are going to be a lot cleaner and nicer than using the, I really like having the phone right there. Those maps are going to work a lot better than using a GPS. It's a little clunkier than those nicer maps that get updated kind of often. So that's the use of that. Now, do I need all of these at the same time? Not really. And it's not like I'm going to be riding and I'm sitting here riding and talking with you guys, and it's not like I'm sitting here looking at all these screens, right? All of these screens just happen to be here, and they happen to be like different tools for different jobs. They just happen to be on the same bike at the same time. All right, so think of this stuff like that. They're not all here to be they're here to be ridiculous, but they're just quick access tools that I get to have and use now. The whole Motology little rack actually works incredibly well, and I am kind of surprised at how little, it takes up the same amount of space that the actual dash would have anyway. So it's kind of interesting that I'd literally get a whole extra screen and I don't have to really sacrifice anything. So this is really cool. If we're being technical, the only thing blocking any sort of view that I would have had is the quad lock with my phone there. And then if I just remove my phone, I get my view back anyway. So, is this ridiculous? Absolutely. Do I love the absolute shit out of it though? Yes, and I haven't even gotten to really use it yet. So anyway, guys, that's the 4-screen setup on the T7. Feel free to let me know how ridiculous I am in the comments down below. But I don't know, dude. This is kind of a vibe, and I'm kind of down for it. If you guys do this for your T7, let me know, because I'm interested to see how many more ridiculous people are like me. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to another video and coming out for a little ride with me. I'm Chaseontwowheels. If you guys want to see more of the T7 build, we'll have a playlist link in the description down below. And I will see you guys on that next one. Goodbye. Bro, this is totally the way. I fully, this is it. Technologically wise, this is it.
Tecnologia!